The absolutely crazy The Boys has returned on Amazon for Season 3. Now, how does it fare compared to its prior seasons? I must say that Season 3 is the craziest season yet, and it's all for the better. The season starts up simple. With Homelander now blackmailed under control, the boys and the Seven are now going through some peacetime. Of course, that peace is quickly disrupted once Hughie learns that his boss, Victoria Newman, is in fact the head popper who was rampaging around the prior season. From there, we're thrusted into one of the most enriching and engaging storylines to ever come out of a comic book series adapted to television ever. Each of the central cast members are thrusted into plot lines that overall manage to fit what's going on in the season. You've got Butcher and Hughie who are trying to take down Homelander with any means necessary. You've got Starlight trying to take down Homelander but through her own little way with the help of Mother's Milk. You have Frenchie and Kimiko who are trying to get out of this hole, taking down Soup's life. And then you've got Maeve who's conspiring to take down Homelander as well, through her own methods. I also like the fact that even though this is a superhero show, they managed to bring in a lot of human topics and plot lines in the show, like Homelander grasping his humanity but also trying to be something bigger, something better than everyone else, and not to mention A-Train dealing with the whole Blue Hawk situation and what it means to be a black person. While I did enjoy the plot of the season, I can't say all the plot lines a part of the season were something I really liked. I do like the fact that Ashley is in a high place of power, but watching her descend into madness is just getting a little creepy. The Deep continues to be nice comic relief, but his plot lines often don't tie into the whole aspect of the show, at least not until the very end. And not to mention, I did like the fact that Kimiko and Frenchie were bonding a bit more, but the whole Little Nina's plot line just didn't fit with the whole thing. I mean, you could take that out and it still wouldn't affect the overall story. When it comes to the characters, I must say everyone brought their A-game this season. All of the characters we've come to know and love, like Homelander and Butcher, were just as raunchy as before. We've been deep having these hilarious moments and having rather intimate moments with animals. Very creepy. But I have to say, out of all the characters, Jensen Ackles' Soldier Boy definitely takes this cake. Soldier Boy's inclusion this season was nothing short of magical. Jensen Ackles stole every scene he was in, and the parallels between Soldier Boy and Homelander made this one of the most interesting dynamics of the entire series. Speaking of dynamics, this season had a number of character dynamics that really ended up paying off over the course of the storyline. Homelander and Butcher, Homelander and Maeve, Maeve and Starlight, it all just paid off so well. The only characterization issue I really had this season had to be Kimiko. While I like that she was feeling a bit dejected about having her powers, it seems a bit odd because last season she had no problem ripping people's faces off for money. Now all of a sudden she hates her powers? I wish the people were consistent with how she feels about her powers.
Lots to unpack there.
Now, with this being a superhero show, one would come to expect a number of action scenes to be about. And no doubt, the boys didn't disappoint with that either. This season, there wasn't any blackmail to keep people behind, everyone was just going at it and it was refreshing to see. Watching Soldier Boy Hughie, without his clothes, and Butcher take on Homelander and nearly defeat him was just super hype. Speaking of hype, I do like the refreshing new take they went with how the boys fought. This time, they actually had Temp V to use, or V24 depending how you say it, which allowed, after use, to have powers for 24 hours, with some side effects to boot. Watching Hughie and Butcher, who laughably couldn't do much of anything against the Soups last season, actually go toe-to-toe against them was actually rather nice to see. It is a bit shame that the Temp B seems to be out of the focus for their next season since they seem to be out of it, but I think what we got now is pretty good. Of course, I can't mention the action with the choreography. The choreography this season was also pretty astounding. The way we got all these action scenes, the way they were scripted, the way they were shot, it was also wonderful. Major props to the team for getting that done.
You are not a god. You are simply bad product.
Overall, Season 3 of The Boys is a return to form when it comes to the wacky adventures of the boys and the Seven. Soldier Boy's inclusion managed to shake things up quite a bit, and led to new status quos for both the boys and the Seven, and I'm excited to see how these new dynamics go about in Season 4. The wacky violence and the depraved sex managed to keep things interesting, and while I didn't mention this, I have to give a special highlight out to Herogasm. That episode was definitely the best out of the entire season.
We gotta cut that part of you out like a cancer.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, try to give a like or leave a comment. If you didn't like what you saw, try to leave me some feedback to see in ways I can improve. Thank you. Have a nice day.